Hey guys, it's Erin, Happily We Go, and it is another PBJournal Tuesday. Oh my gosh, these weeks are just flying by. So as you remember, we did this beautiful sparkle page last week, and now we have the back side of that extended basket weave page that we did. So what I decided to do was do another basket weave, and I did that off camera, and if you missed last week's episode, I will link it down in the description box below and you can see how to make this. So what I'm going to do is glue this in, and that's going to kind of balance out our page here, and then we'll have the basket weave on both sides. So we'll just glue that in with some UHU Glue Stick, push it down real good, make sure you leave a space for that bend in the page. And now I'm going to throw on some gesso, and we're going to use a brayer and just kind of get crazy. Once that's all dry, we're going to bring in some colors. I have some golden acrylics here, and I'm going to break out the FW liquid inks, and I'm just going to go crazy with the colors. I'm going to put it on, spray some water. I'm going to dry in between each color, so that way we don't have too much color mixing. And I'm just going to keep going till I have the right look I'm going for. And all of the colors that I use, I will put down in the description box below, so if you want to check those out, that is where you will find them. While I'm adding the colors, I am flipping my journal upside down in all different directions so I can get drips going in different ways, because I like the way that kind of feels. It's just sort of going all over, but I'm centering the drips from the center. So I have that purple area, and I'm kind of dripping everything around that to give me kind of a center focal point. Did you guys guess that this one was coming? Oh, it's fluorescent pink, and I love it. I haven't used it in so long, but I knew I just had to bring in some bright, vibrant colors into this spread. So let's keep going with these colors, and look how pretty that pink is. It almost adds like a beautiful purpley shade with the blue and the green on top of it. Oh, it's awesome. So after the pink, I decided that this whole spread was going to be about things that make me happy, and I love a little bit of shimmer, so this is one of the pearlescent liquid inks, and it's just so pretty. You can still see the color underneath it, but it gives you that shimmer look. And now I'm going to break out a stencil, and I thought it would be kind of neat to accentuate that centerpiece. So I'm going to take some of the Fresco paints, and I love these by PaperArtsy. They're a matte finish, kind of like a chalky finish, and they're really beautiful. So I thought it would be pretty right up against that shimmer to kind of dull it down, and then to bring the center into focus a little bit more. Now, as you'll see, once I lift this, guess what? It doesn't really do it, but that's okay, because we're going to just keep layering, and all of these layers are going to add to our final product. In an effort to bring back some of the whites that are on the side and kind of feed it through like a river of whites, I have some white gesso, and I'm just going to put it through the center of this stencil and kind of pull those two white sides together. Next, I have this cool typed words stamp, and I thought that would be fun to bring back some of the book page words into our layout before we go to the next step. Okay, now we're gonna get really crazy with it. I love this scripty script stencil, and we're gonna attempt to throw some crackle paste through it. Now, I find it's very difficult to use the spatula and go through these really fine cut stencils because they kind of bunch up and they move around, and you know, the stuff gets underneath it. But I'm trying real hard here, and I think that my crackle paste is getting a little old because I have some chunks there I keep trying to work out. So I'm just going to keep this again in that center and connecting those white like the white little shimmers on the sides, and keep that river going. But oh, crackle, you know that's another one of my favorite things. So cross your fingers, cross your eyes and your toes. Oh, thank you, creative gods, it worked. So I'm going to just take the edges away. I don't want that sharp, harsh line. Smooth it out, and then we are going to go ahead and let that dry naturally until we get some crackle-tasticness going on. While that's drying, I thought it might be fun to make a few flowers that match our layout with some paper towels. So what I'm going to do is spray this paper towel that has been used already and get it wet, and then that's going to kind of soak up the color, and I'm going to drop some of the colors from our layout. So here's that pink, and then I'm going to spray it and it'll make it spread a little bit more. This is super messy. It totally soaked through the paper towel onto my underpapers. Yes, my underpapers. But that's great because we can use that for something later on. And now I'm going to have this green color, and this is what I really wanted to happen, was those kind of flowery looks. Aren't those pretty? So when these dry, we'll go ahead and rip them out and we'll add them to our layout. And the power of technology, they're dry. I wish they dried that fast in real life. So now I want to pull apart those paper towels, and I learned this super cool trick from my friend Kristin Van Valkenburg. You take some washi and you put it on either side of your paper towel, and then you can pull it apart. Now, she showed you this with napkins, but I figured it must work with paper towels too. And if you haven't checked out Kristin's channel, you totally should. I will link her down in the description box as well. She loves working with color. So now that we have all of our little flowers ripped out, I'm going to take forever because you know me, but I'm going to try and figure out how I want them laid out onto my page spread. Now, to add a little something extra to these flowers, I'm going to take some pink embroidery floss and I'm going to make a little X in between each of those to hold them all together, and then we'll glue them to the page. And now that I have them all sewn together, I'm just going to figure out which layout I like the best. And let's see, I think that's about it. No, see? Oh my gosh, it wouldn't be an errand page if I didn't futz and futz and futz until I figured it out. There we go, we're done, we're good. Okay, so now I'm gonna move it over slightly, and then I had these extra little strips from when I did the basket weave, and I thought, how fun would it be to add those in almost like they were little leaves, and then bring some of those page words back into our journal spread. And now I have my soft gel mat, and I'm going to glue these babies down. I love this stuff because when you have something with dimension, it helps hold it on a little bit better than your usual matte medium. So if it has like the little knots on the back, it gets around that and it just kind of glues it on down there really good. Then I broke out my Tim Holtz big sentiment words and found Create Your Happy, because this page for me was creating my happy, in my happy place. So to kind of antique these words, instead of the stark white, I'm using a little bit of antique linen stain and putting it over that, and then also the book pages there too. I think vintage photo might have looked a little better, but I couldn't find it, so we're going to roll with what we got. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I want the sentiment to set on here, and as it's laying there, I'm looking at it going, it seems like it's kind of lost. I don't know. So I decided to pull it up a little bit and add some of that hot pink, fluorescent pink rather, the paper towel, and stick it underneath the sentiment words, and I think I like that much better. I'm using that soft gel mat to glue down my sentiment, and I'm making sure I leave that space for the page to fold in on itself. And now that purpley color, I wanted to bring that back to the page spread. I feel like it kind of got a little lost. So I'm going to take that and make a funky sprayed border all the way around our layout. So I'm just taking that and then using the spray bottle, and I will bring in a paintbrush, but I'm going to speed this through and we're just going to go all the way around the whole layout. Once you have it mostly dry, you can be like me and just dab off the rest because it just takes too long to use the dryer. So now we have our layout here, and these are kind of curled, so I'm just going to take my paintbrush and almost use it like a curling iron to curl those babies back out so they're flat. It's a little trick. And now I'm thinking it needs one more thing to make my heart happy, and oh, where did those little pieces come from? A little BoBunny sparkle paste. I love this little bubblegum pink, isn't it so pretty? I'm just taking my finger and I'm going to dab it around the inside of the blooms and then also on the pink parts of the sentiment. And that is pretty much going to finish up today's episode. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And if you're able to get into your paper bag journal and get some creating done, don't forget to tag me over on Instagram. I am at HappilyWeGo. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It means so much to me and lets me know I'm doing a good job. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so very much again. And until next time, happy creating.